Another episode of, I guess, my life at Full Sail. Today's date is actually Sunday, February 19th. I haven't made a video in about a week. Lots of stuff been going on, but we're going to do, so for the next, I think, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos, you're going to see me here. So, got 7 videos to knock out for the past, like, week or so. Like I said, lots been going down, so it should be good. So let's get right into it. So now we're going to backtrack to not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before that. So we're talking about February 9th, which was month 8, day number 9. That was an 8-hour day. It was all about electricity. I had a lecture for PAE and also a lab. The lecture that day was actually a half lecture. We had the midterm, and it actually wasn't that bad. I was able to knock it out, no problem, and go home, have some lunch, and then come back lecture. And the midterm was, yeah, it wasn't bad. It was fill in the blank and all that. I mean, I studied fine for it. I ended up getting a 94 on it. So, you know, I guess that's good. I got a 94 on the PAE midterm. And the lecture after that was about power safety. It was a bit of a short lecture, but it was a lecture nonetheless. And we talked about, you know, like different types of electrical hazards, different uses for electricity on people, like electric chair, but then there's also like electrotherapy and all this kind of stuff. So take a look at the notes that we got for that day. So that was the first page, and here's the second page. So like I said, it wasn't really that long of a day. It was all right. But somehow my instructor for this class, he's able to somehow like drag stuff out. So that didn't seem like many notes. Like you'd think that the page and a half of notes there was like maybe an hour, but no, he somehow stretches it out to like the full 2 hours or so. So we always get out of there a little bit before 5, which was just enough time to make it over to lab, which I think I have my lab papers somewhere. Yeah, where is my lab manual? Ah, here it is. Here we go. So let's take a look at what went down in lab that day. Let's see. Lab 2. It was lab number 2 because there's only one lab a week. So let's see. Where am I at? Oh, goodness. Okay. Sorry I'm taking so long. Here we go. It was all about Ohm's law. Now, the labs, as I might have previously mentioned, they last the full 4 hours. So, you can imagine 4 hours of nothing but Ohm's law. So, you know, it's the P equals I times E, and then E equals I times R. And we basically went through, and we had to take tons of measurements and do all these things. Like here was one of the exercises, the long wire. Feel free to pause the video to take a look at it if you'd like. We also had to test a long cable. Okay. And there was also a light bulb. We had to like measure and look at a light bulb and stuff. So that was alright. That was actually more towards the end of lab. They let us do the work here first. So there were how many pages? There was a lot of pages. And basically at the beginning of lab, the lab tech was like, don't worry about trying to finish all of the lab work. I just want to make sure that you know, understand what you did do. So it was a lot of measurements of resistance. As you can see here, lots of little circuit drawings and calculated values. There's another one. They got more complex as they went along, of course, as this one shows. But it's really not that tough, actually, believe it or not. I was surprised at how easy it was. We also had to do the same for the speakers, so like a real-life application type of thing. And then we had to build like a little temporary circuit with this thing called a butter board. I think is what it was. And it's basically this thing where you can have your different components and you just stick them in the little grid, and then like there's certain plates and they're all connected together or something, and we had to take measurements of putting different types of resistors together and all that good stuff. So, I don't know if you'll be able to see the picture here or not, but basically that's kind of what we had to do right there. Was configure the different components in different ways and take measurements. So it was really, the majority of it was just the measurements and the figuring out, well, what does this do? It was more of, how would you say it, like an exploratory type of lab, where it was like, well, I wonder what happens if this happens, you know, that type of thing. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it for that lab. It wasn't anything too crazy at all. And actually, I think we had to use an LED at some point in that lab, and I plugged in the LED and hooked it up to a 9-volt battery, even though they told us not to, which I forgot they told us not to. And after like a second or two, my LED it lit up, and then it got really hot, and then it exploded. So I made an LED explode, and it smelled so bad. Oh god, it smelled bad, but it was cool though. It was pretty cool. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, month 8, day number 9 was a good day. It was I mean, it was one of those 8-hour days, you know. They're tiring and all that. But yeah, anyway, so thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or anything, let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Because it is getting pretty busy here, like this next week. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. Once again, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy.